All right. And we are live, and the girls are stepping into the house. So you guys get to experience real life. Here it is. Girls, I'm on a call, so just be quiet as you're coming in. Awesome. So, hello, Facebook world. Really excited to be here and introduce to you a friend of mine who I've now known for almost a year. And I count myself very lucky to not only know him and consider him a friend, but to have worked with him. Something that he does is he helps athletes. And guess what? I'm an athlete now. I didn't know I was going to be one, but I am one. Put that down, please. Thank you. I need some space right now. I decided I was going to become an athlete after getting completely obsessed with pickleball. And it's what led me to this man, Mike Hartman, who is a Stanley Cup winner with the New York Rangers, as well as someone who played for Team USA and has been a performance coach to new and up and coming athletes for 17 years. So obviously, you can tell why I would love to have this guy in my corner. And that's exactly what he did. He introduced me to axiology and he taught me some things about mindset because when I got on the courts, I was brand new to sports and I didn't even know how to think. Hey guys, just for a little bit, I just really want to I want to be able to do this real life. He taught me how to use my mind because I'd be playing pickleball not knowing how to think, what to think. And if that's you, if anyone here knows how it feels to be doing your sport, whether it's basketball, tennis, pickleball, and you're playing and you're wondering, why are my thoughts out of control? Why am I so frustrated about a bad call? That's the stuff that will take you out of the running for winning games. Well, he taught me how to kind of bring that down and how to learn how to use this awesome tool that we've got. So without further ado, I am introducing you all to Mike Hartman.
Hello,
Hi,
hello.
Mike.
Hey, Sarah.
So happy to have you here. I'm just going to get started right away and say, how did you meet me? I'm going to actually ask you, and I want to hear your perspective.
Well, I've been doing this coaching through this assessment tool for a long time, and I was pretty new to pickleball. So I saw you in the pickleball community, and what caught my attention was that you're from Canada, and I think you just won a pickleball championship, a pretty big one. And I reached out to you and I said, "Wow, first of all, how did you do it? And secondly, uh, we use a tool for athletes. Have you ever heard of anything like this?" And then one thing led to another. Then I had you on my show, and then just started to build a relationship with you over time. So found you in that pickleball group, and I am very average pickleball. I think it's in levels, right? 1 to 4. I think I'm a 2.5, maybe. As somebody said, but I have fun and I'm getting better and I love the sport.
Yeah. And I remember when I first met you and you were telling me about the assessments. And yeah, I had just won a big the national championship. I am an amateur national champion and I really wanted to get better. I'm on a run to go pro. Whether it'll happen or not is yet to be decided, but I'm taking it serious and I want to become a professional. So even since making that decision about a year ago, I wanted to have the best equipment. I wanted to learn all the best skills, the best mentality. And I knew that with what you've done, with what you've accomplished, and now with what you've taken from those accomplishments and continued in helping others, I knew you were the guy to talk to. So what was it that you did in the beginning that helped me start to learn more about how to control my mindset?
Yeah, well, just from the beginning, like it was about 17 years ago, I met this Dr. David Medford from the University of Tennessee, and it was like life after sports. I figured out, okay, what am I going to do when I'm done with my career? It's great. And it wasn't even the financial thing. It's like you have an identity crisis when you're done playing a professional sport. So he taught me this whole thing about the assessment tool. So when I came across you, I said, no matter how good you are, no matter how, championships or not, your mindset is everything, and how you view things. But the first thing we need is a baseline. So we have an assessment tool that we use, and I wanted to give you the assessment just to see if you were interested in understanding just where you are where you want to be. It's great to keep winning, but everything we do in sports is 100% mental, because you have to think about, okay, I have to drive to the pickleball court. I have to tie my shoes. I have to get ready to play. Oh, I just had an argument with my significant other. Now we have to do this. Everything that you do is involving the mental side of it. And when I played with the New York Rangers, it was a very big deal for me, because when I was a kid, I grew up watching the Edmonton Oilers, and we actually had we had 8 of the Oilers that won Stanley Cups play on our team. I think we had about 8 players that played for the New York Ranger the year we won. So some of these guys were my heroes, like Mark Messier, Craig McTavish, Kevin Lowe, and they won many championships. So I've learned from some of the best, and I try to apply that to what I'm doing. And I do the same to your pickleball game. Just, how do you prepare, and what do we do to keep ourselves always in the game? And that's how we started, and it's been great working with you.
Yeah, I'll say from my end, I mean, it's no coincidence that I've had the success that I've had. I don't come from a background of sports. I mean, I played volleyball in middle school. If you meet me in person, you'll see I'm pretty tall. I'm 5'11". So I've got the height, and I played volleyball and I loved it. I played at the net, but that was middle school. I'm turning 35, and it's been a long time since I played any sport. So I'm not exactly a, natural born athlete or anything, but I've always taken care of my health and my fitness and stuff. But why was I able within a year to go from never playing the sport to an amateur national champion, and now winning gold at 4.5? Pros play at you knock on the door at 5.0. At 5.5, you're playing the pro circuit. How is it that I've gone from 2.5 to 4.5 in such a short amount of time? And I 100% can tell you, it's not my skills. It's not my physicality or athleticism. It's up here. It's all up here. The way I think is very different to most people. Like, I've definitely come back from 9-1 and won gold medals in those positions purely from will and desire, and from, not wanting to give up, not letting things bother me, controlling my emotions. And a lot of that, I figured out where I was because of you. The assessment that you first gave me, it blew my mind. It was so comprehensive. So it asked like tons and tons of questions. And not only did I get this massive readout, I was lucky enough to have you give me an audio debrief on where I have room to improve and how I can do that, how I can think differently, what kind of meditation I could use, and what to see in those meditations to be able to be more focused, more clear on what I'm doing, more deliberate on the court, and actually play to my full potential. And that right there is the biggest thing about this, because we all have potential, but can you reach your potential? And the potential that you reach has a lot to do with how you think. Because if you don't see yourself as a champion or a winner, or someone who you don't see yourself as an athlete, then you're not going to reach those potentials. Being able to understand where our mind, where our emotions are at, so that we can elevate them and evolve them, has been a huge, huge step for me. So I'll ask you, what were some of these amazing, breakthroughs and realizations when it comes to mental and emotional wellness that helped you, win a Stanley Cup, for instance?
Well, that's a good question. But when I played on the Stanley Cup team, I looked at it as I was a small piece to a very big puzzle, and that was mentally tough. So I got traded from Tampa Bay Lightning the year before, and we didn't make the playoffs with the Rangers. And they made a bunch of trades, got rid of a lot of players, and they told me they're going to keep me around to be an insurance policy to come in and out of the lineup. So I play 5 games, sit 3, play 8 in a row, miss 6, and it was tough to do. So you always have to be ready as what they call as a support player. So I was very thankful that the Rangers did not trade me at the end of the year, and they kept me around, because I try to be the best support player I could be. So I knew if I was going to play 5 minutes a game or 8, I'm going to be the best 8-minute player. And sure, you want to play all the time? Of course you do. We play a sport because we love it. I didn't look at hockey as a job. It was more of a dream come true. My dream was to play one game in the National Hockey League. I told my parents, and ended up playing many games, but I lived that one dream. Then I said, okay, now I have to take it further. How can I keep playing longer? What can I do to stick around? So a lot of it was my mindset. In 1986, I learned things like imagery. We had a sports psychologist that we would work with too back then, but we've learned how to, visualization techniques and different things to help improve the game. So I never thought of myself as a champion. I was always in the right place at the right time. Like I remember I played for the World Junior team, which is the top, which is going on right now in Canada. So I ended up playing for my country because they needed a left winger that could play physical and that can kill penalties back then. So I played for the World Junior team, the top team in the United States. After I got sent down from the Buffalo Sabres, I went back to my junior team, then played there, and ended up playing. And then I played for my country another time when I happened to be in Europe. When I was pretty much done with pro hockey, I wanted to play a few years in Europe. Could have played a lot longer, but I just wanted to just see the experience. While I was over there, somebody got hurt, and another player took Sudafed, which is it's not an illegal substance, but with international rules, it was. You couldn't have Sudafed in your body. It's crazy, like the player to do it. So they needed a left winger, and I ended up playing on a line with Neil Broughton and Joey Mullen. So they called me. They said, listen, our tournament starts in 3 weeks, and we want to add you to our team. You've been playing well in Europe. So I played for my country. I went in there thinking I'm not going to play a lot, and I played on the top line because they wanted me to play on a line with two of the top players. Actually, I played on a line with two of the top Americans almost ever to play the game, Joey Mullen and Neil Broughton. Ended up playing with them. So my mindset going in wasn't, get nervous or get uptight, take advantage of every opportunity. So that's why I do what I do now for a living and helping people look for those things. It's nice to say, my goal is to win a championship, but how are we going to do that? You have to do all the littlest things right before you win that championship. And it's the same in pickleball. It doesn't matter. It's one of the fastest growing sports in the world. You have to be prepared. You have to be mentally prepared. You have to be physically prepared. So we use not just that magic word that everybody uses, the mindset, but it's also what I call is the intrinsic side that we use in the assessments, like your emotions, your feelings, things like that. And then the external world, I'm keeping it simple, but there's a little bit, the external world, which is the outside world, let's say. How do you see things from the outside? Then the systemic, that's the intrinsic and the extrinsic together. And you put that together and you figure out, okay, this is what I need to do. It's a tool. That's what I look at it as. And as many tools, Sarah, you can have in your toolkit, take them out, because we need every advantage we can. So I look at this as a tool followed by a program. So that's the long-winded answer that I can give you. And we have a program. Okay, now we have this tool. You take the assessment, and then now you go on a program from there.
Yeah, I love that, when you talk about this, and I've noticed it from the beginning, it's a formula. You actually end up, once you use the tool, you know where you're at, how you think, how you feel, how you react to certain things. Now you can create a formula. Now you can actually follow a system and steps on thinking better, thinking like an athlete. And that's been the effect for me that I've experienced since meeting you.
Yeah. Well, you said the formula, I call it a healthy mindset, to keep it simple. And that's basically using, little tools like mindfulness. I know you do something with meditation. We do something with meditation. And we have an app that I'm doing with you as a team, where your pickleball group has access to the app that gives them a structured program, that gives them the ability to to follow something that's structured. So we put together a 10-day program that they have access to for 30 days. And it really teaches them mindfulness. And why do I have to be mindful as a pickleball player? Why do I have to be? Well, because you always have to be in that moment. You have to be focused. I watched you, actually, one of your videos. It was a highlight thing that came across Facebook, and you turned around and you did a backhand. That was you, right? You did a big backhand. I mean, you were in the moment there. If your head was in left field, you wouldn't have been in that moment. So the key is to stay in the moment. So you learn mindfulness. It's another tool that we give you we teach you. We learn how to put goals together. So you could have the basic SMART goals, as simple as it is, even measurable, SMART specific goals that we use, a SMART goal method to many things. So you understand what to do, because I can't go out there and play pickleball for you. I can't put my shoes on and go out there and just start playing. But what we can do is provide you with tools to help you maximize your potential.
Yeah, maximize my potential, baby. So, I haven't asked, but anyone who's watching, if you've played pickleball before, let me know in the comments, or if you're interested in playing pickleball. I actually run brand new or leagues for brand new beginners. And if you are someone who takes pickleball serious, share that in the comments below. I know I've become friends with a lot of pickleball players, and I don't think I've met anyone who's really not interested in being a better player. I'm pretty sure everyone I play with wants to be better, wants to hit those shots better, handle the emotions better. Let me know in the comments if you've ever been playing a game and your emotions got the better of you. I'll put my hand up right away. Yeah. Been there. I've blamed my partner. I have hit faults that then messed me up for the whole game. I mean, when I first started, yeah, my emotions ruled me. So to be able to have a control over that and to be able to stay calm in the face of a challenge or adversity, it's the reason why I've been able to pull out some of these gold medals. I now have, I don't know, 12, 13 medals. I've never had medals before. So I would say that controlling my emotions and being able to not be run by them and controlled by them is a big, big deal for me on the court.
Yeah. What's good too with all this is, like you mentioned it earlier, with somebody might say, well, I just still play for fun. Well, you still want to play well. I play, I'm going to be 56 years old, and I play pickup hockey. I'm not a pro hockey player anymore. And I play with players from 30 years old, 25 years old to 70 years old. But they still want to get better while they do it. Why not try to be the best you could be while you do it? It doesn't necessarily mean you have to win 12 gold medals or championships, but you still want to improve and compete so you can play the sport for a long time. It's so much more fun when you are pretty good at it. So if you put the mental side together, it will help. And I tell you this. So if no one has ever listened to anything that I told you, there's, I believe in a mind map that I add to my program. It's like the last chapter of my program. And I always said an athlete, they need more than three things. But to me, the top three things they need is, like, if you had a mind map, if you had a circle, a big circle, and another circle going across, you need mental toughness. Okay. You need the mental toughness could be, I'll give you one example, is being mindful. So you draw a line down and you put mindful in that mind map. Then the next one is the physical. That just doesn't mean training, but you got to train like an athlete. Sleeping is very important, is the physical. Meditation is doing something on the physical side. Imagery, I just gave you a bunch of them, and then we can draw it down on your mind map. And the third thing is nutrition. You have to, and I'm not a dietitian. Now, we have one, but it's not what I do, but properly fueling your body, hydrating properly, doing those three things, then you can put your own pickleball mind map together and focus on those three things. The mental toughness. Okay, what am I going to do to be mentally tough? The next thing is the physical. Okay, I'm going to do my training. I'm going to do my conditioning. I think pickleball is more of an anaerobic sport, right? But you still need your VO2 and your, it's still, to me, it's still aerobic, anaerobic type sport. And the nutrition. And then you put that together and you look at your little mind map and say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. But it all starts with the assessment and what I call is the e-learning program that we have that we're doing. And I think together that's great. It complements everything.
Yeah. And I love that it's not like a big, I don't want to say commitment, but I've spent almost about $250,000 on mentors, personal development. There was a mentor I paid $100,000 a year and was with that mentor of mine for 2 years. So when I got into pickleball, I'm like, I want to be the best I want to be. So I know I'm going to have to dish out some money and invest in myself. And when I met you, that was one of the first thoughts. I'm like, okay, I want to learn from him and I'm probably going to have to dish out a bunch of money. And when you talked to me about what you offer, and then you told me it didn't cost very much. I mean, compared to $100,000 a year, I was able to jump in and not feel overwhelmed, overburdened. You gave me a couple simple steps. I got to take this assessment on my time and then hear back from you what it meant. It was really nice for it to not have to be this massive commitment where I was financially, time, and energy committing like my whole world just to learn this stuff. It's actually a lot simpler than I expected. And the simple things and the simple steps that you gave me to take made a huge impact. So if what would the first step be for someone on here who's like, yeah, I'd love to know a little bit more about where I'm at and how to better my mindset and be able to be on the court, super focused and win and get better and better and better. What's the first step that they would take right now?
Well, the first step is they would contact you and they want an assessment. So we do, let's do a ready to play and total wellness assessment, because ready to play is so important. Okay, how do we get ready to play pickleball? And total wellness is you do need your mind, body, spirit. It's all part of it. You need your sleep is so important for an athlete. So we start with that assessment. It gives you a little breakdown of, like I mentioned before, it starts with the extrinsic, the intrinsic, and the systemic of you. And you go, wow, look at this. It's a great tool. That's the first step. And you just start, they reach out to you, they get the assessment. Great. The second step is, it all depends if they want you to debrief that assessment, or they can just read it on their own. It's always great coming from you because you got certified in it. So the next step would be you would debrief the assessment, being a pro, being a high level pickleball player that you are, and you also understand how to debrief it. And the third part is they take the program, which I'm offering through you, where they sign up, and part of the whole program is they get the app with accountability coaching. They get the program in there. They listen to the audios. They answer a few short quizzes. They get meditation. They get sleeping and walking meditation, mountain meditation. Mountains are so important, and it's beyond why we do meditation. It's a whole other, could be a whole other conversation, and that's all through you. So I know it's through your website or through your information, and from there it's offered to them, and it's a tool to help them. And then by the time you're done, you're going to have plans, habits, and goals in place, where you might think you have a plan, but you're going to know, oh, here's my plan, here's my habit, and here's my goals, and let's go put them to action.
Yeah. Having like an instruction manual on how to be successful is kind of a big deal, right? We all kind of guess our way through things, but when you have actual instructions and support and accountability, it makes it a lot easier. And I've already done this assessment now for, I think, 4 people. I haven't even gotten started, but those 4 people, pickleball players who've taken the assessment, have already seen massive growth in their ability to play. One lady, even before the assessment, I gave her a meditation I designed on how to get yourself together before a tournament. She did the meditation, next day went and won gold in, I think, her highest level she had ever played in. And that's just one of them. The other 2 or 3 that I've assessed, it was very much the same. I gave the audio debriefs after kind of looking over their whole report, and I get a response back, oh my God, everything you said just nailed it. That is so me. So to be able to understand where we're at so that we can actually make a deliberate shift is huge. It's huge. It is dictating your success.
Well, we didn't even discuss this part of it, but every athlete I know at a high level, and we don't like to say it, they can have small injuries or setbacks, and we even talk about how to deal with those. Now, talk to your physician if you do get hurt. Hopefully, you don't get hurt badly. That's not what we do. What I mean is, but how do you deal with that? Because there's nothing worse than you're an athlete. We've had many of them that, okay, they have shoulder surgery, they have a rotator cuff problem, they have something going on with their knee or their back, or wow, you feel good, but you get up and, oh, I have an ache, and how do we deal with that, and what should we do? So we also teach that, because if you are playing a sport, it's inevitable that something will, you're not going to feel 100% every time. I want to know who that athlete is that, they might play through it. Now you see athletes play a lot of games, and it's listed that they played, so many consecutive games, but playing through injury and playing through certain things is all in your mindset too sometimes, or sitting out for a month or two and you can't play. And how do you stay focused, and how do you take it to a point where you're not going to be so frustrated, and be able to be positive with it and say, okay, this is where I am, and okay, I have to get better. And we teach that too. So it's the whole package, and it's more, like I said earlier, and I've said it again, it's more tools in your toolbox for yourself.
Yeah. I'll just tell everyone right now, I mean, this has been huge for me. There's a reason, actually. Not only did I really love what this assessment and what Mike has done for me in teaching it, I loved it so much that I went and got certified in it myself. That's how big it was for me. And I mean, I'm a life coach. Anyone who knows me, I coach people. I coach people to live their greatest life, to be their happiest, to create the most abundance and success, and to thrive in life. And as soon as I saw what this was able to do for people, let alone me, I said, I got to be able to teach this. I got to be able to understand axiology and people's value system so I can guide them on how to win more, how to enjoy pickleball more, how to recover mentally, emotionally, and physically from grueling tournaments or injuries, and what that does to the mindset. And I'm a huge, huge believer. So for me, I took these assessments and I've worked with Mike. And since then, my game has elevated, my happiness on the court, my emotional well-being on the court has elevated. I'm actually able to have like so much fun, be free, and constantly be growing and getting better in the sport. So I want to thank you, Mike, for all of what you've done for me. It's giving me a huge advantage.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to share one thing. So the axiology is a word that when I first heard about it, I didn't know if it was, what it was, but it's the axiom of value. So that's how you have to look at it. And it's not just a made up survey. It's from Robert S. Hartman, who was no relation to me. He was actually, he's from Germany. Actually, there's a whole story about him you could look up even in Wikipedia, but he was up for a Nobel Prize within this. And there's a lot of mathematics involved in the algorithm and how you answer things and what is good. That's what we look for, of what is good. And there's things that are not so good. And how do you value that? And if you're an athlete that values things that are maybe that are not so good, okay, we have to look at it. This is okay. Why are you thinking like this? And then we don't answer questions that we go to the next level where, okay, this is where you might need it there. I've heard somebody say they don't like their life. Just we have to get this out there. We don't work with people like that, because that's not what we do. We're not therapists. We look at ourselves, Sarah mentioned life coach, performance coaches, and just keeping you on track through this validated tool is what it is.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, for me, it's all about having an advantage. Anyone who's watching who plays pickleball, how would you feel if you went onto the court knowing you had multiple massive advantages over your opponents? That's how I feel when I hop on the court. I have the best nutrition. I have the best equipment. I have the best mindset. When you are given the tools to give you an advantage, you walk on the court with more confidence. When you play with more confidence, you win more games. I can tell you right now, when I'm playing with full on confidence, I am hard to beat.
That's awesome.
So
Love that.
again, Mike, I just want to thank you so much. You know, we're at a half an hour, so I think we've given people a little bit of taste of what's so amazing about what we do. And for anyone who is curious about where they're at and how they can better their mental and emotional well-being on the court, get at me. I will, not only will I help you out, but I'm going to connect you with this incredible soul as well. And both of us are teaming up to make sure that everyone who's in my aura, in my circle, has the greatest chance at being the best player they could possibly be on and off the court. So Mike, thank you
Great.
so much. I
Thank
really
you, Sarah.
appreciate it.
It's been great. Thank you.
Awesome. Everyone who's been watching, thank you so much for hopping on. So much love to everyone. I hope you're all having incredible holiday time, spending with your family and loved ones. And if you're a little bored, reach out. I will send you all the love from my way. Much love to everybody. Thank you again, Mike.
Thanks,
Enjoy
Sarah.
your holidays. Happy Christmas and all
Likewise.
that good stuff.
Yeah,
Mwah.
take care.
Bye, guys.
Bye.